Hey Substack peeps, how is everybody? I just did a reel over on Instagram and Threads, pulling a card because, it's September. And doesn't September just give you that vibe, that going back to school vibe? Doesn't it feel like no matter where you're at in your life, September always gives you that kind of excited starting over feeling, doesn't it? And for me, it's sort of like, summer has been great, and it's not like we're not working over the summer, but it still has that relaxed vibe. We kind of, for me anyway, I kind of get set in my ways. I kind of, oh, it's summer, I'm going to kind of relax. And we need to do that. That's not slacking off. Like, summer is there for a reason, right? It's that time to play and enjoy life and whatever, as much as we can. But when September hits, it's like, okay, immediately my energy goes up. As the temperature goes down, it's like that refresh. And me especially, I start feeling like, okay, it's time to get organized. I've been kind of lax with keeping up with certain things, especially here on Substack, doing posts and whatever. And just I like to try to keep organized, and I have so many different things going on. So I'm kind of a rebel. I have both sides of me. I don't want anyone to tell me what to do when, but I also know that as a Virgo, I need to sort of be organized. So I have this weird constant thing going on in my head that's fighting each side. But again, September for me is, okay, it's time to make a little plan. It's time to start, allotting times for things during the day. So I make sure to get everything in because it's hard to do, but the key is not to get down on yourself if you don't get to it all because life is busy. Anyway, so I thought it would be fun to pull a card kind of around the energy of all that. If you want to get organized, what can help you get in that mindset right now? September is also that time to, you feel like you want to learn something new, just like going back to school, right? Maybe it's time to take a class for yourself or start a new skill you've always wanted to jump into and try. Maybe it's time to get a tarot reading or time to start a meditating practice or, anything that feels like it's sort of a recharge for you, a reassessment as we start sort of this all new beginning of the year. And also, I often feel like new beginnings, maybe you're at a point where you do feel overwhelmed, and maybe your new beginning is right now feels more like, digging in and understanding yourself, studying yourself, getting more aligned with your truth and who you are. And really, that needs to be behind everything we do, right? Because when we are really speaking from our minds, we're not listening to messages that other people are telling us or acting in ways we think other people expect of us. When we're coming from our truth, that's when things start to align. That's when the magic starts happening in your life because you're going toward and bringing in things that align with who you really are. So anyway, I did pull the card live over on my Instagram and Threads. So I wanted to share that card with you that I just pulled for this September back to school vibe. And that is the Chariot. And honestly, if I just went through the deck and picked one for this vibe, this would definitely be one of the ones I would pick. The Chariot is all about embracing this masculine energy. And as you know, I always talk about masculine, feminine. It has nothing to do with the way you identify. We all embrace those roles, those energies, different times in our life, different moments in our life, times of the day, different roles that we play. But the Chariot is one of those very masculine cards of taking charge, of moving yourself forward. And it's all on you, peeps. Look, this is a single driver of this Chariot. You are the Chariot driver. And what I love about this is, even though this is a very masculine card, this person is bringing in a lot of feminine energy. I mean, look at that beautiful canopy up above, filled with stars. Stars are full of hope. They're light. And it's like reach for the stars. The stars are the limit. The sky is the limit. But you're within your own chariot of ideas and energy. Now beware, because with the chariot, as in with life, there are always things that are going to try to pull your attention in other directions. And sometimes that's good, right? Sometimes it's really good to make sure that you're not just going forward so with blinders on, that you're not seeing things come at you from the other side. But right now, as you're starting this back to school energy, it's time to really ignore those pulls. Keep pulling yourself forward or driving yourself forward toward where you know you need to be, or the focus, or whatever it is that you need to focus on right now to bring you that creative energy vibe that's going to pull you and send you right toward where you need to be for the beginning of September. Hooray! I mean, what a great card, right? And as you know, Pen and Tarot here, I'm all about using tarot as a creative tool to help you brainstorm ideas, unleash that creativity. And so not only is tarot great for self-development and all of that, it's, again, a great creative tool. So I always encourage people, often when I do my readings too, I encourage people to write about it. Either make it a journal entry, or even just do the free writing thing where you just grab a notebook and you just write. Put down the chariot. Put down what the chariot means. Focus, driving forward, that forward energy. And then just start writing about how do you think that you can have that energy right now? What is it that motivates you to move forward? What have you been doing just recently that's keeping you maybe from feeling like you're the chariot driver of your own chariot? And how can you get that back, right? How can you feel like the driver of your life? So all those things are great to think about, to write about, and it's better to handwrite because, all those things say that, that's where we unleash our creativity. It's using our brain versus just typing. There's something about that movement of your hand that actually really helps you unleash all of that. So I want you to do that. And of course, as always, I love to help you feel that creative pull toward writing creatively as well, as in writing a story, writing poetry, writing a script, whatever it is that you do. So maybe right now you're feeling like your character really needs to get back on track. They need to, feel that masculine chariot energy and stop getting all this stuff from all around them and move forward. So that could be something you could think about or use in your story. Maybe it's a part in your story, in the plot, where you've kind of been sitting in one space for a while and it's time to kind of move on and, focus on something else. Maybe as a writer, you have been sort of sitting back and letting things kind of, I didn't feel like writing today and I knew my writing wouldn't be good, so I didn't sit down and write today. Peeps, you know the drill. You're supposed to write all the time. Not supposed to. I don't like shoulds in my life. I don't like that. But in order to move forward and get better, even if you feel like your writing is really shitty, just sit down and do it. Just write. You never know what's going to come out. Once you can start relaxing and just getting into the flow, you'll be amazed at what comes out and the ideas that may come out. So even if you're feeling really stuck right now, it's time to embrace that chariot in you. You are the driver. What motivates you? What can move you forward? And even if it's just sitting down in front of a blank sheet of paper and writing about the first thing that pops into your mind, just to get back into the groove of writing again, fabulous. That all counts. So I would love to hear any comments. I'd love to hear how you are embracing the chariot right now, how any part of this card sparks something in you, even if it's the picture itself. What does this picture say to you? The colors in the picture, the way that there's Sphinx, two different colors. And isn't it funny that this chariot is all about moving forward, yet it seems to be made of stone and it seems to be quite still at the moment. So that's an interesting thing to think about too. I want you to think about that. I want you to write about that and consider that as you're thinking about this September back to school energy vibe. So again, if you have any questions, I'm always here. If you want to comment below, I would love it. And, keep the magic going, because it's always about your magic right now. See you guys later. Bye.